Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of CAW Wrestling Global. It is the third episode, and I'm your host, as always, Dwayne James Johnny Feelgood. And this show takes a look at the universe outside of the Major Pain Wrestling Federation, folks, including the World Wrestling Future, including BCW, CWLL, the King of the Indies, and Fight Japan CAW Wrestling. And now we are on the road to the first ever click review for CWG, and that will be Genesis. Now tonight's episode will feature a special episode, ladies and gentlemen, as we look at the quarterfinals of the championship tournament to crown the first ever CAW Wrestling Global Champion. As Aaron Flyboy Fletcher makes his way to the ring first here, the F-Gen Champion representing the World Wrestling Future here in BCW, ladies and gentlemen. So we got some big plans for this channel here, big plans for CAW Wrestling Global, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I want to thank everybody that has watched MPWF SummerSlam on our main channel at MPWF Wrestling. What a two-night event it was, as we build for things here on 2K25 on the MPWF Wrestling channel. But right here on the MPWF Chairman channel, we are here for CAW Wrestling Global, folks. And we'll be transitioning from 2K23 to 2K24 for CWG Genesis, folks, with some surprises in store for that as well. But as I mentioned before, this is the tournament to crown the first ever CAW Wrestling Global World Heavyweight Champion, the governing board of all of these multiple promotions. So as you see here, we're in BCW, and we have our first two competitors here in this tournament, as we have Billy Ray Peterson representing the King of the Indies, Kong representing FJCW, the two men wrestling right now, Gabriel Slade representing BCW, Shedry representing FJCW, Chad Warrior, the King of the Indies, and the Money, the World Wrestling Future. All of these men here to compete for that new World Heavyweight Championship, the belt above all belts, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen Cole Quinn working with Baron Blade representing BCW here on this channel thus far. And I mentioned that this is a special episode, folks, as usually the cycle will go for CW Genesis about 3 episodes before we hit the next click review. That is the plan going forward. But we'll have 4 episodes because, like I said, we want to highlight the quarterfinals here for this tournament. And that is what this episode is all about tonight. So as you can see here, we have every world champion of each promotion, as well as a top contender of each promotion here in this tournament. So not only is it bragging rights for yourself to claim that you are the entire champion of all of the CAW Wrestling Global, but it's bragging rights for your brand, for your promotion. As you can see here, we're in BCW with our opening bout here tonight. As you'll see throughout the night, our brand new logos for each company, as we get prepared, like I mentioned before, to switch to 2K24 for these events, ladies and gentlemen. It's Aaron Flyboy Fletcher, a man with unlimited potential, ladies and gentlemen. Unlimited potential. As you can see here, look at the athleticism and strength and power of Flyboy Fletcher, the current future generation champion of the World Wrestling Future. And Cole Quinn, who is a former champion himself, who's been embroiled in a rivalry against the World Wrestling Future for about 2 years now, has really turned things up with Baron Blade. You saw on CAW Wrestling Global Episode 1 what they did to Tom Sawyer. Unfortunately for them, Tom Sawyer has gone on to MPWF War and has become extremely successful. The current reigning and defending European champion of MPWF War. And again, like you said, a guy like Aaron Flyboy Fletcher, he has definitely got a future start in the MPWF, I should say. And I believe that Aaron Flyboy Fletcher is going to be a World Wrestling Future Champion. But again, could you imagine for his young career if he was to become the CAW Wrestling Global Champion here on this channel? And a nice spine buster there by Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. And now Flyboy here going to go high risk again, but Cole Quinn moving out the way. And now big boot to the face there by Cole Quinn. And now look at that, Quinn working on the lower back there of Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. And now working at that arm. Again, Cole Quinn has a wealth of experience. The first time we've ever seen him in wrestling was in 2018, debuting in the ever-popular 2K19 video game, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, right now, that's still, I think, my favorite game of the 2K series, folks. You want to talk about an unbelievable wrestling game, 2K19. My gosh, I wish that you could still purchase that game and be able to play it and have updates and stuff. It'd be amazing. But alas, we are here in the future, 2025, and Cole Quinn has moved forward, the current BCW Heavyweight Champion, and he's in control of Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. And again, you want to talk about how hated Baron Blade and Cole Quinn are. We're in BCW and the fans are booing Cole Quinn, folks. You know, when we see wrestlers representing their own promotions, you would expect to see them getting cheered by their own promotion. But again, who in the hell likes Baron Blade, folks? That's the key thing here. And Cole Quinn associating himself with him. And again, Cole Quinn partnered up with the Paragon Slade, Jay Paragon Pierce, and Gabriel Slade, the tag team champions. But look at that, Aaron Flyboy Fletcher fires back with an elbow. And now look at that athleticism there by the Flyboy. Again, Aaron Flyboy Fletcher, trained by Billy Ray Peterson, the current King of the Indies champion. And he dove all the way to the outside of the ring there. And I think he mistimed that. But you got to see the athleticism of the Flyboy on full display here. On our third episode of CAW Wrestling Global, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cole Quinn getting back inside the ring here. And now, oh, a right hand there by Quinn, dropping Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. Like we said, this look again. This channel, you know, is based on the MPWF, but there is a lot going on outside of the Major Pain Wrestling Federation. That's what we want to highlight here on CAW Wrestling Global. Highlight the superstars outside of the MPWF. Again, we've seen wrestlers outside of the MPWF debut, and you know, this gives people a backstory. You know, yes, allows you to see them. And then what happens, folks, if Genesis ends up outbeating one of the MPWF shows? What happens if more people are interested in CAW Wrestling Global? Like I said, it's all about bragging rights, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot wait for when Genesis hits YouTube. As Aaron Flyboy Fletcher now, look at this, over the back, underneath, oh my goodness, look at the athleticism of Aaron Fletcher. Oh my word, folks. The Flyboy, ladies and gentlemen, not even 25 years old, ladies and gentlemen. And now Aaron Flyboy Fletcher, nice head scissors takedown there on Cole Quinn. He has been defending that Future Generation Championship with utmost precision, and we can see how he does it there as a patella brain buster to Cole Quinn to go forward here in the CAW Wrestling Global Championship Tournament. And oh, Cole Quinn gets the shoulder up. And now, oh my goodness, a knee to the face there by Aaron Fletcher, setting Cole Quinn to the floor. And again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we like to have fun in this universe with the MPWF. Okay, we've even got, coming soon to our YouTube channel, is the Super Slam Showdown as well. Another show that is entirely for the youth, entirely for kids, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it's just fun, folks. It's just fun. As now, oh, a backdrop there, and Cole Quinn lands badly. Aaron Fletcher now on the top rope here. And Aaron Flyboy Fletcher flying high with that Hurricane Rana to the floor. And Aaron Flyboy Fletcher telling the crowd, I've got it. I've got the stuff here tonight. Cole Quinn is all out of whack, all out of sorts, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, I'm all tongue-tied here. As Aaron Fletcher now sends Cole Quinn into the buckle. Has Cole Quinn in the precarious position on the top rope, but Cole Quinn fights back out. And Quinn now, Aaron Flyboy Fletcher to the buckle again. And now Cole Quinn here, gonna go for some high-risk action of his own. Cole Quinn now with that Hurricane Rana. Cole Quinn with that experience in Japan and Mexico as well. Going for the cover, 2, and oh my goodness. And again, how about what we've heard before? The new Superstar Initiative going on here on 2K25, ladies and gentlemen, where there'll be wrestlers from the independents appearing on MPWF shows, most notably MPWF Underground. Cole Quinn can take advantage of that and get himself on the main roster in the MPWF, and I know that's something that he's interested in, but he might not be interested in that, as a slam takedown there by Aaron Flyboy Fletcher, as Fletcher now heads to the top rope. And Aaron Flyboy Fletcher is going to go for the Flyboy Fly off the top, and he hits it. Flyboy Fly by Aaron Fletcher with the cover. And what a massive victory for the Future Generation Champion of the World Wrestling Future. Aaron Flyboy Fletcher scoring the pinfall victory in the quarterfinals, the first round here, and will move on to the semis. And again, he pins a world champion in the BCW champion. A huge victory for Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. And again, once he hits that Flyboy Fly, that is all she's said and done. Huge, 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 huge win for Aaron Fletcher here tonight. Like I said, man, Aaron Flyboy Fletcher is the future of the Major Pain Wrestling Federation, ladies and gentlemen. And when his time comes to be on the main roster, oh my goodness. But as you can see here, Aaron Fletcher moves to the next round, and he has potential to face his trainer and Billy Ray Peterson. If Billy Ray Peterson can knock off Kong, once again the theme song for CWG Genesis, Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be building on this channel strong for that event. Like I said, it is going to be a game changer. It's Genesis, and I cannot wait, folks. But we're about to move into some more quarterfinal action. But hold on a minute. Baron Blade here with Cole Quinn. And Baron Blade don't look too happy, folks. Cole Quinn losing for BCW. And Baron Blade says, you know, I'm disgusted and sickened by you, Cole. I have put everything on the line to promote you as my top star. All I needed you to do in return was to stomp out the MPWF and win this tournament. And you've done neither. I have pushed you since 2018. And what have you given me in return? A rumor that you're going to sign with the MPWF/Indie Superstar Initiative? I did just mention that, folks. And Baron Blade has heard about it, and he's furious. And Cole Quinn, again, is going to have to do what's best for his career. You know, for the upwards trajectory. No disrespect to BCW. Again, they're part of CAW Wrestling Global, but Baron Blade says a program where you'll get to supplement the MPWF main roster. All this so you can wrestle on War, Annihilation, and Underground. Disgusting. Perhaps you'll actually get to beat Tom Sawyer this time around. I am moving on to bigger and better things here with BCW, and that means being at the very top of CWG. And with the new money that has come in, I have found your replacement, and he will take the title off you, Cole. Well, again, this partnership deteriorating before our very eyes, ladies and gentlemen. And wait a minute, who the hell is that? Wait, that's Ricochet, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute. Ricochet with BCW colors attacking Cole Quinn there, and there's a total recoil there. Wait a damn second, folks. Ricochet now going to the top rope here. And Ricochet with the 630. Taking out Cole Quinn. Ricochet is the new man for Baron Blade, folks. Look at that 630 splash by Ricochet, making his official debut in BCW to now replace Cole Quinn. Again, we have seen the attitude change of Ricochet over the last year here in the professional wrestling world. We've seen Ricochet in the Major Pain Wrestling Federation, and now Cole Quinn has been replaced by Ricochet. Baron Blade using the brand new money since being funded by the CWG to bring in Ricochet, and I'm being told that Baron Blade has more plans to bring in more wrestlers into BCW, into CAW Wrestling Global, and this is a start. And could you imagine Ricochet as the BCW World Champion? But folks, we move into our next matchup here, and this time we head to the King of the Indies. As you see the beautiful new logo of the King of the Indies. And introducing first is the brand new King of the Indies champion. Well, at least for this time here on the channel, folks, we're only on the 3rd episode, and Billy Ray Peterson debuted and won that title in the first episode's main event. But again, time has passed, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, this ain't able to be as frequently as a weekly show as the MPWF, so that we're coming in here at months at a time, folks. But Billy Ray Peterson has been defending that championship against Taylor Andrews, against Hugh Charles. Massive damage has come after the title. Cannonball's been interested in the belt as well. Billy Ray Peterson has been working hard representing the King of the Indies, and has a huge opportunity to win the CWG World Championship at Genesis. And like I said, the King of the Indies loves Billy Ray Peterson. He loves what he brings to the table, folks. A hard worker. And again, what we mentioned before, he is the trainer of Aaron Flyboy Fletcher. So again, we can see teacher for a student in the next round. But that's if he can get past this man. his opponent, the 7-foot giant, former sumo wrestler Kong, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you watching for the first time on our main channel at MWF Wrestling, we hosted some Fight Japan CAW Wrestling events in 2022, and we saw Kong, former FJCW Eastern Champion, dominate in FJCW in his battles with Takagi. Kong, this is the first time we've seen him here on YouTube in a couple years at this point, ladies and gentlemen, and he has been doing just that in FJCW, dominating. And quite frankly, he might have saved Shenryu by putting him here in this tournament, as Kong's focus is winning this CAW Wrestling Global Championship. Although Shenryu will be competing not only here on this episode of CAW Wrestling Global, but in the tournament as well. Billy Ray Peterson, more notably a hardcore wrestler, is going to have to find a different strategy against Kong here tonight, as there's obviously regular standard rules. And usually the King of the Indies has time limits, but because this is the CAW Wrestling Global, we're following the CAW Wrestling Global rules, so no time limit here for this tournament. As Billy Ray Peterson unleashing on Kong, but again, look at the size difference, and oh my god, one headbutt just split Billy Ray Peterson open, folks. One headbutt is all it took to bust open Billy Ray Peterson. And I don't know if BRP is prepared for this. Like I said, you can hear the crowd here appreciating Kong in the King of the Indies. It is not very often that we see this man outside of Fight Japan CAW Wrestling here in the States as he goes for the cover. That could be it, folks. The first strike of the match to the head of Billy Ray Peterson split him wide open. And now look at that backbreaker. Kong holds on in a second backbreaker, and now tossing Billy Ray Peterson like yesterday's news, ladies and gentlemen. And a terrible, terrible start for the King of the Indies World Champion. And now Kong here, loosening up that clothesline, throwing that lariat in the corner. And wait a minute, Kong on the second rope here, goes for the splash. And Billy Ray Peterson fighting for his life, ladies and gentlemen. But Billy Ray Peterson is no stranger to blood, no stranger to being beat up. But there's no way he was expecting that, getting his head split open by Kong. As Billy Ray Peterson fight back with his chops here, but no, a boot there by Kong. And Kong now with a clothesline. And man, can you imagine for Aaron Flyboy Fletcher if he's going to take on Kong? Look at that strength and power there of Kong here, as he now goes for a beautiful slam, taking down BRP with the cover, two, but Billy Ray Peterson just gets the shoulder up. Man, Billy Ray Peterson is bleeding a lot, folks. A lot. I said, Kong ain't doing no suicide dives. If he does, folks, we could be going to the hospital for not just Billy Ray Peterson, but Kong. That's a lot of humanity that'd be flying through the air like a torpedo. But Billy Ray Peterson now on the top rope here. Kong trying to get at him. Billy Ray Peterson fighting down. And oh, there's a drop kick taking him out. Missile drop kick off the top rope. Billy Ray Peterson now trying to keep on top of Kong here. And Billy Ray Peterson with a clothesline knocking the big man down. And a second one. And now, oh, what a savant kick there by BRP. And Billy Ray Peterson now picking Kong all the way back up here. And now he's going to go for the package power driver perhaps. But no, swishes into the side slam. Billy Ray Peterson showing the world why he is the King of the Indies World Champion. Fighting back here and oh man. And he doesn't want to lose on home soil. We saw just now Aaron Flyboy Fletcher Cole Quinn lose on home soil in BCW. Billy Ray Peterson doesn't want to continue that trend as Billy Ray Peterson going over the top rope but just launching his body on Kong here. What a hard-hitting matchup here on CAW Wrestling Global Episode 3. Both of these men keeping up a pace that you wouldn't expect from these two heavyweights. But they are showing out here tonight. And now BRP to the top rope. And now big clothesline off the top there by Billy Ray Peterson. And once again going for every cover that he can get here on Kong. That Kong gets the shoulder up again. And now BRP. Nice DDT there to Kong. Billy Ray Peterson doing well here. It seems like he's shaking off, getting his head split open, shaking off a potential concussion. And Billy Ray Peterson went for the dropkick again, but Kong swatted him out the sky like a fly, ladies and gentlemen. And now, oh, German suplex. And he hangs on, and now spinning around, and what a clothesline there, folks. Turning Billy Ray Peterson inside out, and BRP luckily gets the foot on the ropes. It's one hell of a matchup here on CAW Wrestling Global as BRP sent off the ropes and a spine buster there by Kong. And now Kong here, building that momentum back here in this match. Oh man, that was a clummy blow to the back of the head, but Billy Ray Peterson continued to fight back here. And now another DDT there by BRP. I tell you what, folks, there's a lot of heart in Billy Ray Peterson. He ain't giving up here tonight. And then Kong now. Oh, man. Throwing him off on his posterior chain there, ladies and gentlemen. And now kick to the midsection. And now Kong going to go for the sit-out powerbomb. And that is it, folks. A powerbomb from that height. Driven to the mat. And Kong pins the King of the Indies World Champion. So it ain't looking good for the King of the Indies so far. And BCW, both promotions losing, both world champions getting pinned here in the opening rounds of this tournament. Right there, that drilled him to the mat stiff, ladies and gentlemen, by Kong. And Kong proving to the world that, folks, you don't want to mess with this man. And honestly, this right here might be the favorite to become the CAW Wrestling Global Champion. Simply by sheer size, ladies and gentlemen. As you see here, it's going to be Kong and Aaron Fletcher in the semifinals, which will take place on episode 4 of CAW Wrestling Global. But up next, we are going to see Gabriel Slade and Shen Ryu in Fight Japan CAW Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. So we continue the action here in this quarterfinals of the CAW Wrestling Global Tournament. And introducing next here, one half of the BCW Tag Team Champions, Gabriel Slade. Now from what we've seen so far, the actual momentum is on Gabriel Slade's side so far. The world champions of each promotion, BCW and the King of the Indies, have failed to make it to the next round. Gabriel Slade here going to challenge the Fight Japan CAW Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. But Gabriel Slade, one hell of a talent. We saw this man make his debut in 2K23, ladies and gentlemen. And Gabriel Slade here is going to want to prove himself. And again, we saw an incredible tag team matchup on a previous episode of CAW Wrestling Global as a part of the Paragon Slade. And, you know, luckily for Gabriel Slade too, if he doesn't win tonight, Baron Blade ain't showing up with Ricochet or someone else, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we're not going to see Trevor Lee or someone show up here and attack Gabriel Slade. But here comes the ever-popular Fight Japan CAW Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Shen Ryu. One of the sons of the 4 pillars of Fight Japan CAW Wrestling. We've seen Shen Ryu here, not just on this channel, but on the main Epic Wrestling channel as well. Those other FJCW shows that we've seen. Again, he faced Kazuma Fujiwara on a previous episode of CAW Wrestling Global in an incredible wrestling matchup. And now representing FJCW, Shen Ryu wants to get to the finals and win the CAW Wrestling Global Heavyweight Championship and become a double champion, folks. Said Kong, a top challenger and contender for that championship right there that Shen Ryu holds around his waist. Kong already into the semifinals. Shen Ryu wants to join him here. Again, I love coming to Japan, a pure wrestling style more than anywhere else in the world, folks. And we get to see that right here from FJCW. So here we go, our third matchup, third of 4 here tonight on CAW Wrestling Global. Gabriel Slade, Shen Ryu, both men similar in size. Shen Ryu a little bit younger than Gabriel Slade a little bit younger than Shen Ryu, but there's the power of Shen Ryu. And now, oh man, what a slam there. Crowd loving that one. So that's what Shenryu brings to the table. A powerhouse game. Nice double leg takedown there by Gabriel Slade. And Gabriel Slade, a man that worked his way up before to be in the WWE, to be in BCW. Gabriel Slade is no slouch in the ring as well, and looks to show that here tonight, and he goes for the knee and misses. Shenryu moves out the way, and again, what would Baron Blade say if both his men get eliminated in the first round? Nice bulldog takedown there by Gabriel Slade as he heads to the second rope here, and Slade misses the crossbody. Shenryu now nice takedown there with a shoulder tackle. And Ryu now sends Gabriel Slade into the ropes. Nice leapfrog there by Shenryu. Drop down there by the big man. And now nice power slam there by Shenryu. And the crowd here in Japan appreciating that. And now look at this. Oh my gosh. Nice close. There's cover there by Shenryu. As we are here competing tonight in Okinawa, Japan. Some beautiful beaches in Okinawa, ladies and gentlemen. You should check it out. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. As Shenryu has Gabriel Slade up in a nice, another slam there. More power. And the crowd here in Okinawa respecting the champion. And oh, what a clothesline there. Jacking the jaw of Gabriel Slade. And went for the big boot, and Slade underneath him. Slade trying to get back in this matchup on a closed fist right hand there, ladies and gentlemen. And that is something the crowd is not going to respect here in Japan. Again, it's all about tradition and rules. As you see there, Gabriel Slade throwing Shenryu into the barricade. And again, the fans in Japan don't respect this kind of competition. And sooner or later, you'll hear the crowd start to boo Gabriel Slade here for him disrespecting the rules here in this match. As Slade now going to the top rope though. Place he feels very comfortable. And there's that crossbody block off the top rope. A tried and true move as he goes, but no, not even a full-on one count there. Shenryu powering out. But Gabriel Slade there with a knee to the face. And now look at this. Gabriel Slade mocking Shenryu here. And now getting a boot to the face for his troubles. And you do not want to turn your back on Shenryu. As Ryu now sends Gabriel Slade to the outside. Slade hangs on. And now, oh, Gabriel Slade with an elbow there. And now Shenryu coming towards him. And now look at that. That was a straight cheating move there by Gabriel Slade. Hanging Shenryu's neck up on the ropes. A nice single leg takedown there. Spinning around does Gabriel Slade. And now Slade here. Oh man, stomping right on that nose. And now there's the elbow. And Gabriel Slade has tried to open up Shenryu in this matchup. And has done just that. Again, he has got the champion reeling here. I'll tell you what though, Gabriel Slade impressive in this matchup. Again, bringing a different style. Cheating here in this matchup. But Gabriel Slade looks at home here in FJCW. Wouldn't mind seeing him at future events here. I know, wait a minute. Gabriel Slade catches him and a backbreaker there by the tag team champion. Hooking the leg here. With the cover. And again, interesting choice as well by Baron Blade. We know that J. Paragon Pierce has spent time in Japan quite frequently, but has gone with Gabriel Slade, and he's not disappointing so far. As another takedown there. And now stomping away at that leg. And now Gabriel Slade realizing that Shenryu grabbed it. And now there's that surfboard stretch here on the Fight Japan CAW Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And Shenryu has been out of sorts since landing in that barricade. But a kick out there. Gabriel Slade trying to get back in control here. And Shenryu with a clothesline fights back. And now Shenryu has him up. And no, wait a minute. Go for that Saito suplex. Reversal there by Gabriel Slade. Kick to the midsection. And Slade has Shenryu here. And he goes for the 99 Crusher. And he hits it. Beautiful move there by Gabriel Slade. And he knows it. And like I said, Gabriel Slade, outside of that cheating early on in the matchup, he has been very impressive as a beautiful Northern Light suplex float over and deadlifting him again for a second Northern Light suplex. With the cover too. And oh man. And I'll tell you what, folks. Gabriel Slade is impressing me here in Japan. You know, I think he should ditch Baron Blade and maybe come and have a stint in Fight Japan CAW Wrestling. I think Gabriel Slade would do quite well. But Shenryu going to take exception to that. And now Gabriel Slade go for a clothesline and missing it. And there's a back body drop there by the Fight Japan CAW Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And now Ryu with a spine buster. And Shen Ryu now getting this crowd here in Okinawa on his side. And a kick to the midsection here. And he could be going for the X-Plex. And he hits it. Beautiful move there by Shen Ryu. You see the blood pouring out of his head with the cover. But Gabriel Slade just gets the shoulder up. And what a matchup this is here in Okinawa, Japan. And now sends Slade into the buckle. And oh, wow, what an enziguri. And that one drops Gabriel Slade. And Slade wisely rolling to the outside of the ring, trying to get some breathing room here. And now, wait a minute. Shen Ryu all the way to the top rope. Gabriel Slade in trouble. And Shen Ryu up the top and a knee to the sternum of Gabriel Slade. And now, Shen Ryu back in control. The momentum has shifted entirely in this one, folks. And now, wait a minute. Look at the power again there of Shen Ryu to Gabriel Slade as he sends him face first to the mat. And now Gabriel Slade in trouble as Shen Ryu on the very top and an elbow to the spine, to the lower back. And Shen Ryu now looking to capitalize to move forward to the semifinals of the CAW Wrestling Global title tournament. And no, Gabriel Slade getting the shoulder up. And now sends him into the buckle once again. And now, wait a minute. Oh, now look at this here. Throwing Gabriel Slade to the floor. And Shen Ryu going to go high risk to the outside again with a double foot stomp. And no. Gabriel Slade able to move out the way of this one. And Gabriel Slade now has him in position for the Slade runner on the outside of the ring. And that could be it, folks. This is one hell of a matchup we are seeing here in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. Gabriel Slade desperately here, maybe too desperately, to finish off Shen Ryu here. He hit his finishing maneuver, but it was on the outside. And now the elbow to the spine. And that could be it, folks. Slade runner on the outside, elbow to the spine. And Gabriel Slade now to move to the next round of the CAW Wrestling Global title tournament. And no. Oh man, what a boot to the face there by Gabriel Slade, and a knee now to Shen Ryu. And now Slade going for that kick, getting caught there by Shen Ryu, and Ryu now firing back here. Sends Gabriel Slade. Oh my gosh, it's the ropes, gets caught with the STO. And Shen Ryu saying it's time to end it. It is time to end it. And the champ now with a big enziguri again there to Gabriel Slade. And now he has him up and oh my god, what a slam. What a slam there by Shen Ryu. The crowd appreciating it. And this, folks, is going to be the bitter end for Gabriel Slade, and he hits it. Oh my goodness. And Gabriel Slade too far away from the ropes. And Shen Ryu moves to the next round. FJCW putting two men into the semifinals of the CAW Wrestling Global Championship Tournament, folks. And that was an incredible wrestling matchup between Shen Ryu and Gabriel Slade. And like I said, I'll tell you what, folks, Gabriel Slade with an impressive performance there. And I told you before, it's no secret, I'm into scouting, ladies and gentlemen. And I wouldn't mind seeing Gabriel Slade in the FPWF after that performance. But I honestly think a stint in Fight Japan CAW Wrestling would do Gabriel Slade very well. But Shen Ryu keeping up his victorious win streak here on CAW Wrestling Global and proving to the world why he is the top guy in FJCW. So here, folks, Shen Ryu joins Kong and Aaron Flightboy Fletcher in the semi-finals of the CAW Wrestling Global title tournament. Our main event for this evening will be Chad Warrior versus The Money from the World Wrestling Future. But before we get there, we've got some previously recorded footage of some women's division action as Meili May, the super fan, took on Akane Chiyo for the FJCW Women's Championship right here in Okinawa as well. Let's take a look at it here. And oh, double stomp there as you see. And again, I want to take you to this footage here as again part of the deal here with CAW Wrestling Global representing BCW. Meili here coming after Akane Chiyo. Akane Chiyo has dominated the women's division in Fight Japan Core Wrestling, and we saw her appearance at World Wrestling Future, the Resurrection, taking out a bitter rival of hers in the Dragon Kid Hina Suzuki. And again, I cannot wait for a potential confrontation between those two women. So Meili proving herself here against Akane Chiyo. Got the champion on the rocks here, ladies and gentlemen, but a reversal there by Akane Chiyo and a takedown. And Akane Chiyo with a beautiful uppercut, dropping her to the floor. And again, could you imagine if Meili was able to take the FJCW Women's Championship to BCW? It'd be huge. She's getting, oh my God, what a combo there by Akane Chiyo. And like I said, look at how dangerous this woman is. A former assassin, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, that's right, she has murdered people, ladies and gentlemen. Again, bold at FJCW to hire her after that, but again, this is wrestling, folks. Now, wait a minute. Oh, a powerbomb there on the barricade. She could be ending this young woman's career here. Wait a minute. Akane Chiyo now going for another powerbomb again here. No, a second powerbomb on the barricade. And the crowd here even booing this unsportswoman-like behavior by Akane Chiyo. And wait a minute, not a third powerbomb on the barricade. You could be ending this young woman's career here, and a third powerbomb on the barricade. Akane Chiyo has a different morality or different moral compass to anyone else in core wrestling, folks. And now look at that strike there by Akane Chiyo. And a clothesline on the back of the head. And Meili's finish, folks. 3 power bombs onto the barricade. And now there's this pop-up German suplex by Akane Chiyo. And that is all she wrote, folks. There's no way Meili's kicking out of that. And again, we're going to have to get some medical attention for her here, folks. She took 3 power bombs on the barricade before Akane Chiyo decided to be merciful and end this match. And there's that German suplex. And she is still the FJCW Women's World Champion. I don't know, folks. That was taking things a bit too far. I don't think there was any need for that by Akane Chiyo. I think Akane Chiyo could have wrapped this match up in a much easier fashion than what she just did there. Even the official intimidated by Akane Chiyo. Again, who is going to be able to stop Akane Chiyo? Wait a minute! Hina Suzuki is here! Hina Suzuki came all the way back to Japan, the World Wrestling Future Women's Champion, and assaulting Akane Chiyo with a weapon. Oh my goodness! The Dragon Kid, the winner of the Queen of the Starlight Tournament, and this is where this all began between these two women. I want a shot to the chair there by Hina Suzuki. Suzuki beat Akane Chiyo in the finals of the Queen of the Starlight Tournament, and Akane Chiyo has never been happy with it since that point. And these two women now at odds with each other. And Hina Suzuki says, Akane, you were just jealous that I beat you in the Queen of the Starlight Tournament. Well, instead of attacking me from behind, I want to give you a chance to face me one-on-one at CAW Wrestling Global Genesis. And I tell you what, folks, I would love to see that one, folks. An interpromotional matchup, one-on-one, Hina Suzuki versus Akane Chiyo at CAW Wrestling Global Genesis, folks. And Akane Chiyo says, I will destroy you, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be official here. Akane Chiyo versus Hina Suzuki at CAW Wrestling Global Genesis, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait. Well, folks, it's that time. It's main event time. And we head to the World Wrestling Future for our final matchup of the quarterfinals of the CAW Wrestling Global Title Tournament. And introducing first, one of the most popular stars outside of the Major Pain Wrestling Federation, Scottish-born wrestler Chad Warrior. And again, he has been incredible, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen this man put on banger after banger after banger, as Sheamus would say. Again, it was great to see that we're going to have a matchup between Hina Suzuki and Akane Cheeto at CWG Genesis. We are building to that show. The finals of this title tournament will take place at CWG Genesis, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot wait for it when it gets to YouTube. Chad Warrior looking to win the finals of another tournament here on YouTube. Chad Warrior won the initial King of the Indies Championship Tournament, in fact defeating his opponent tonight, the Money, Dion Jackson, the new World Wrestling Future Champion. We saw it at the Resurrection. He defeated Rhino Rick Jones, representing the BMF, the Black Mafia family, and there he is, the Money, Dion Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Former running back for the New Orleans Saints. This man has, again, lost maybe 2 matches in his entire wrestling career. Was supposed to head straight to the main roster of the MPWF, but got released because of his attitude. Got a better attitude in the King of the Indies and got rehired and joined the World Wrestling Future and aligned himself with Terrence Knight. As you'll notice here, Terrence Knight not here tonight. Neither is Logan Moore or Pete Jones, the other members of the Black Mafia family. They are currently in Mexico right now in the CWLL, challenging for the CWLL tag team titles, and Terrence Knight is with them. As again, this tournament is one-on-one, ladies and gentlemen, meaning there's nobody able to interfere here. So the Money, Dion Jackson, is going to take on Chad Warrior, and I mentioned before, this was the finals of the initial King of the Indies title tournament that we saw, which you could watch on our main channel, the MPWF Wrestling on YouTube, where these two men have fought each other before. So this is the second time they're going at it again, and the Money, Dion Jackson, was convinced that he was going to beat Chad Warrior, and it did not work out. Chad Warrior scoring the win. Can Chad Warrior do it again? And now look at this, Dion Jackson here not paying attention to Chad Warrior. And again, what Dion Jackson's not going to do is intimidate Chad Warrior. Could you imagine if we ended things just like that? Again, the difference here is that the Money, Dion Jackson, is even bigger than when he had faced Chad Warrior the last time they wrestled each other. Chad Warrior in better shape as well. As a beautiful drop kick there by Chad Warrior, former King of the Indies champion, as he goes to the top rope here. Chad Warrior now to go high risk, and went for that nice tornado arm drag off the top rope, but the Money saw it coming, and now the Money captured Chad Warrior there with a German suplex. Again, this tournament is tailor-made for a man like Dion Jackson, who would love to be a double champion here in the World Wrestling Future, to hold both that and the CAW Wrestling Global title. So Chad Warrior, the last hope for the King of the Indies, as Billy Ray Peterson was eliminated by Kong earlier this evening. Chad Warrior looks to get the win for the King of the Indies here. And now look at this, going for that kick. There's the Money. I know, getting caught with an insecurity. Again, the Money has his problems with Jim Jocko. We saw the franchise officially signed to the World Wrestling Future. Jim Jocko and the Black Giant. And now look at that Hurricane Rana there to Dion Jackson. Again, the Money has been dealing with Jim Jocko ever since that he double-crossed him after using his help at the World Wrestling Future Christmas Carnage show. And I know that at some point we're going to see a confrontation between the Money and Jim Jocko for the World Wrestling Future title. But he's getting caught with a knee here. And honestly, Dion Jackson is missing a step here against Chad Warrior. Or I should put it, Chad Warrior is just at the top of his game, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like I said, I mentioned before, I'd love to see Chad Warrior in the MPWF, and seeing him here in the World Wrestling Future is amazing, folks. Because to me, this is where Chad Warrior should be, ladies and gentlemen, on the top stage like this. But again, that's what CAW Wrestling Global is looking to match. And maybe Chad Warrior is deciding that I'm going to carve a complete path for myself, that I don't need the World Wrestling Future in the MPWF. I'm going to become the CAW Wrestling Global Heavyweight Champion and prove to the world that there is more to wrestling than just the MPWF. You got to respect that in that, man. That's the Money now. Oh, God, what a knee there by Dion Jackson, and another one to the skull there. And now a third knee there by Dion Jackson. And now Dion Jackson telling Chad Warrior that you fluked against me. And I'll tell you what, for a man like Dion Jackson, the Money, who has won so many matches, and not just in the NPWF, or in the World Wrestling Future, I should say, but as well as in the NCAA, as well as the NFL. He has been a winner his entire life, and now, again, the only person that he's got a recorded loss on YouTube is the man he's facing right now. Is a beautiful savate kick there by the Money, Dion Jackson, as he goes for the cover here. 2, and a kick out there by Chad Warrior. Chad Warrior trying to get a breather on the outside of the ring. Dion Jackson now following him to the outside, and now throwing him into the steel steps. I said the crowd always giving Dion Jackson a mixed reaction. Again, he is insufferable. You know, all intents and purposes, is not a nice human being. But his athleticism, his wrestling ability, for how long he's been wrestling, has been extremely impressive. And again, because this is the developmental program for the NPWF, you know that at some point the Black Mafia family is going to be on either war or annihilation. And the Money, Dion Jackson, is going to dominate, folks. That's just what he's done his entire career. You want to talk about the new blood? That is the new blood right there. It's Chad Warrior now, gingerly getting to the ring and getting caught with a right hand and a beautiful Superman forearm there by the Money, and the Money going after the knee here of Chad Warrior. So this is our main event here for episode 3 of CAW Wrestling Global. And the crowd here really on the back, on the neck of the Money here, and he go right back to that submission hold again, where he could work at the lower back of the knee of Chad Warrior. And Chad Warrior in a world of trouble here, but Chad Warrior once again sweeping out those legs, but you see the pain in the lower back of Chad Warrior. Really struggling here, but now needs to figure out a way to fight back, as Chad Warrior there with a clothesline, and a second one to the Money, and now catching the Money's legs, and a nice leg trip there by Chad Warrior. The Scottish-born star bringing the fight back here tonight, as he goes to the top rope perhaps. But slowly, that lower back is in pain. Oh, catching the Money though, and now Chad Warrior off the top rope. Wait a minute, rope walk into a drop kick. Beautiful move there by Chad Warrior, as he hooks a leg here on the Money. Dion Jackson 2 and off. Dion Jackson getting the shoulder up, and now the Money sends Dion Jackson into the buckle and a clothesline, and now the Money in trouble as Chad Warrior here. Beautiful DDT out the corner. And Chad Warrior started building up momentum, and like I said, the fans here in the World Wrestling Future want to see Chad Warrior, so they're cheering him on here, and a beautiful tornado to the outside of the ring, ladies and gentlemen. But once again, Chad Warrior grabbed that lower back. I did not miss that, ladies and gentlemen. That lower back is affecting him here. But the crowd showing their appreciation for Chad Warrior here in Las Vegas for the World Wrestling Future. And there's that tornado arm drag off the top rope. Chad Warrior building momentum here. And Warrior now, with a clothesline, catching Dion Jackson. A second clothesline catching him again, and ducking under his clothesline, ripcord, and a beautiful kick there by Chad Warrior. Using that martial arts background, has Chad Warrior with the cover. Another kick out there by the Money. What a matchup, what a main event this is, and a beautiful standing moonsault there by Chad Warrior with the cover. 2, and again the Money kicks out. Chad Warrior would love to utilize that frog splash for the win here tonight. Oh my God, a big boot there by the Money, Dion Jackson. And now, oh my God, and that is the athleticism of the World Wrestling Future Champion that could end this match, but no. Chad Warrior kicking out, and these men are putting on a show here in the main event of episode 3 of CAW Wrestling Global, folks. These men showing the world what they bring to the table. And now look at that kick there by the Money. And now wait, the Money throwing Chad Warrior up the top turnbuckle. And now Dion Jackson all the way to the top rope. And Dion Jackson saying, I'm about to put the boots, I'm about to put the finish to Chad Warrior. And he goes for the elbow, but Chad Warrior moves out the way. And Warrior now, oh, nice roll up. Nice roll up there, but a rope break. Chad Warrior was all in the ropes. And I went for the knee and getting caught in the face with a boot there by the Money. And now, oh my God, what a right hand there by Dion Jackson. Oh my goodness gracious me. a flipping unprettier by the money. Oh, Chad Warrior at the last second getting the shoulder up, folks. This is incredible, folks. This could be a main event of any quick preview anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. And now Dion Jackson here, signaling for the end, and wisely Chad Warrior rolling to the outside of the ring. Again, what it's going to give, and not to mention, this is the first round of this title tournament. And now, wait a minute, the money now disrespecting Chad Warrior. I went for the kick. Warrior moved out the way, and a right hand there by Chad Warrior. And now, oh my God, a half and half suplex on the floor, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a thinly padded mat. That is not a safety net to land on that. And now, wait a minute, Chad Warrior to the top rope here. And Chad Warrior now going to go for the frog splash, and Dion Jackson tried to roll out the way. And Chad Warrior using the Pokemon move Revenge, put the frog splash to the lower back on the outside of the floor. As Chad Warrior now going to the top rope here again. Could be looking for a second frog splash. The money in trouble. Second frog splash. Chad Warrior to move to the semifinals of the CAW Wrestling Global title tournament. And no, the money just gets the shoulder up, folks. This may be the best matchup we've even seen here on CAW Wrestling Global between these two men. Incredible stuff here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this, back and forth, both of these men. Again, what we're seeing here could be CAW Wrestling soulmates, ladies and gentlemen. You have a man that you can wrestle at any time and put on one of the best matches possible, and that's what we can be seeing between these two men. Their finals of the King of the Indies was amazing, and this first round here of the CAW Wrestling Global Tournament is just as good, ladies and gentlemen, if not better. And you see that abdominal stretch or the octopus stretch, but there's the power reigning true for the World Wrestling Future Champion, the money, Dion Jackson. And now, wait a minute. Dion Jackson now looking for a move off the second rope, and a crossbody dropping down Chad Warrior. And he's wait a minute, folks. He's going to be setting up for that diving foot stomp. This is going to be bad for Chad Warrior. There it is. The double foot stomp. Wait a second. Look on the stage. Look on the stage, folks. And the money realizes it as well. It's the franchise. Jim Jocko and the Black Giant. The franchise here. And there is no Black Mafia family, and the money says, I'm getting a little sick of you, Jocko. I brought you back to the World Wrestling Future and made you relevant again. You think you would have the decency to accept my charity and piss off? The money disrespecting Jim Jocko. And I tell you right now, folks, Jim Jocko ain't the man to take that disrespect. And Jim Jocko saying, son, the only person that keeps me relevant is myself and the franchise. I told you before that you made a big mistake messing with me. I always knew I was the franchise player, and I'm going to prove it when I take the WWF title off the youngest, hottest star in the MPWF. I've been around the block. You can't out-mind game me or the Black Giant. Good luck with the rest of your match. Jim Jocko here telling the money that you can't out-mind game him. He needs to pay attention to his matchup here. And wait a minute, the referee counting here for the countout. The referee at a 9. Chad Warrior knocks the money off the apron here. Wait a second, folks. And a 10 count, and Chad Warrior beats the money once again here. And Dion Jackson is furious as he has been eliminated from this first round matchup here in the CAW Wrestling Global title tournament because of the distraction from Jim Jocko, and Chad Warrior advances with a count-out victory here tonight. What a main event, and this is continuing this feud between Jim Jocko and the mighty Dion Jackson, but Chad Warrior to face Shane Ryu on the next episode of CAW Wrestling Global. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dwayne James Johnny Feelgood, and I'm signing out, and we will see you next time on CAW Wrestling Global. Good night, everybody.